So, doo-doo. All right. So, first of all, what is digital? So what does it mean to go digital when your company goes through a digital transformation? What does that mean? So, one definition that I found out there was digital businesses uses technology to create business processes with the primary intention of delivering superior customer experience. So see the three components there: technology to create business processes with the primary intention of delivering a superior customer experience. So more importantly, more than one technology it drives that customer experience. A set of technologies put together will deliver, that greater customer experience that should gain you, customer loyalty. But at that bridge, where digital companies are very successful in bringing new technologies and leveraging that technology to improve the customer experience, you'll see new business models develop. The entire business model of your company is likely to change because of digital. We see across the world companies that are changing their business model. Their new competitors are coming into the marketplace that disrupt the marketplace and disrupt the business, and you've got to change the way you do business, bring in new products or services in order to stay relevant in the marketplace. So what does this mean to business analysts? So one thing is outside-in thinking. We aren't going to start with our services, our products, our systems, or anything of that nature. You're going to start with the customer and think of the customer outside the company. Start from that perspective and think in to the company. What can you change within your business processes, your technology, your people, those interactions that a customer has with your company to improve that customer experience? So co-creation of solution design. So more than just internal people getting together and designing a solution that you feel that the customers want, and that those customers are going to be involved in solution design. So this may allow our business analysts to have more direct access to customers and having them part of the requirement solicitation process. But not only the customers, using the entire business ecosystem, your suppliers, your vendors, your business partners are going to be part of that solution design and a part of that solution, so they will also be part of designing that solution. So we've seen many companies that own or get into business relationships with others. Such as many restaurants now use Grubhub or DoorDash to deliver directly to customers. So there's contracts to be negotiated and a business relationship to be made. So some companies, fully merge with another company or purchase out a company. We've seen over time that happen within the industry, and it's an unrelated topic in that. Amazon started selling books online. Look at them now. And it means it's going to be extreme focus on the customer experience. So no longer we're going to look at what products or features of a product are cool or what we think that the customer may want, but we will be able to ask the customers directly and get their input into what features they actually do want. So they say that about 40% of all product features ever delivered are never used. That number should go down because the customer now is deriving what they really want. So we should see that number go down. So anybody know what this is? that look familiar to you?
An MRI machine or a CAT scan, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe this one is a CAT scanner and that, but digital or medical imaging, so MRI, CAT scan, CT scanner, or that. So if you were in our chapter meeting in January, you've heard this story. So attrition to Tim Kramer, I stole this story from him, but it is a very good example of going digital and what it means and that. So here's the creator or the lead design developer for 24 years for GE who creates all this medical imaging. So $18 billion revenue stream for GE. And every once in a while they let Doug out of his chamber or jail and allow him to go on on-site visits. So where their machines are used, so that's what? Hospitals, right? So medical places and particular hospitals, he goes on to on-site visits. And one thing that he found when talking to doctors at hospitals and such is he was told that 80% of pediatric patients had to be sedated to take an MRI or a CAT scan or something. So he took this as the problem statement. This is something that we have to solve. Now, when you look at going to solve that, what would you look at? If that's your problem statement, what the scanner is. And I personally have never had an MRI or a CAT scan or that, but I've seen them on medical shows and that. So, just like in that previous slide, there was a person in there. You
don't want to take one if you are the least bit claustrophobic.
Okay. So good point. Claustrophobia. You see the person laying inside of there and that. But one thing you may see a light going around you in there. But there's a lot of banging, isn't there? So a lot of clanking and banging that goes on as it's doing its imaging.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of noise. I've had a few of them taken.
Okay.
But one of the biggest concerns I would think with a child is you have to remain motionless while it's going on. And children tend to be fidgety.
Tend to be, yes.
So you can either sedate them or restrain them, essentially, I guess.
And therefore, 80% have to be sedated. So,
right.
So what would you do to try to solve that? You would try to quiet it down? You would try to put restraints in it? Hopefully not. What would you do? That's your problem statement. 80% of pediatric patients have to be sedated. Here's this big machine that clanks and makes noises. Maybe lights go around. Claustrophobia, so very small space. So what do you think? Try to widen the space to help with the claustrophobic? Quiet it down, quiet the machine down, see if you can, quiet that banging that goes on as it does its imaging. Any other thoughts?
See about coming up with a new design that's kid-friendly.
Okay. So change the machine some way and...
Yeah, paint it.
Yeah, somebody was here in January, right? So let's see what Doug did. When he was confronted with that problem statement, what Doug did is, he went out, took some human-centric classes, find out about the human experience, and how to solve for that. Observed users of the existing products, better understand the customer's needs and that. So, and I'm sure he observed both adults and children going through medical imaging and that. Observed and gained empathy for young children at a daycare center. Now that's really out of the box, isn't it? Go to a daycare center to see what children go through and that. So reach out to specialists, understand what pediatric patients endure, reach out to experts at children's museums. So another out of the box type things. Doctors and staff, hospitals is where machines are used. So, you would expect that. So after learning all of that, and I'm sure it took some time and such to do all that research, take classes and that, he was able to create his first prototype, the Adventure Series scanner. So, and one of them looked like this, the pirate ship, and that. So, and this really takes into account that customer experience. And look, they really didn't change the machine. They didn't change the design or how it worked, or made it square, or bigger opening, or that. They painted it, but not only painted the machine, but look at the room, look at the floor. The entire room. These pictures over on the right are what the walls were painted like, and such. And not only did they paint the machine and the room that it was in, but the technicians that operated it and brought the children into the room and that would dress up as pirates. And they had an entire storyline about the pirate ship and that, and made the child part of that storyline. So, I don't know if this was the storyline or this, my imagination running wild in that, but could you imagine them telling the child where, the pirates are after you and we're going to hide you here in this, cellar type thing in the ship, and you have to lay down here and you have to be very quiet and very still. And you may hear them coming around and banging to try to find you, and then you have to be really still so that they won't find you. Something of that nature. I could imagine what the storyline would be, but they made the child part of the story, so that really made the customer experience so delightful for the kids that, who needs sedation anymore? Well, you may not like pirates, so how about safaris? Or, oh, I missed one. Jumped right past the jungle, but they had other things, space camps and space stations. I saw pictures of Coral City, underwater. So I don't know if the children had, a selection that they could select what adventure they wanted to go on and stuff, but there were options that they could have to do. So with that, they were able to take that. What did I say, sedation? What was the percentage? So
80%.
yeah, it went from 80%. They got it down to 3% over time, and that. So you can imagine, could see more patients per day and satisfaction with the experience, and that, I'm sure not just the patients, but think about the mothers that take them home. You're taking a very happy child home instead of a crying one, right? So, the whole family experience was a whole lot better. So great results in that, but when you were truly, really successful, when a doctor was talking to one of the mothers whose little daughter come running up to her in the hospital after going through the MRI, pirate ship MRI, little girl comes running over and tugs on her mommy's shoulder, or tugs on her skirt, and says, so that's a real true testament that you did an excellent job of changing that customer experience. So I have one more example of a digital company. This is just a little 2-minute video I have queued up for you. And while you're watching this, think about which insurance company would you like to be the customer of?
No. It's just construction. That's all. No. I'm not driving. Are you okay? Yeah. You?
I'm good. I'm good.
Oh no, not you. Listen, I'm gonna have to call my agent. I'm
Mr.
gonna get
Burton?
right back to you.
Mr. Burton, this is Insure Corp. We've received sensor data that indicates you were in an accident. Are you injured in any way?
I'm not injured, no.
Is anyone else injured?
I don't believe so.
Okay, where's my agent's number?
We have pinpointed your location and we are showing your car is not drivable. So we are dispatching an Uber car to take you to your destination.
That would be great.
I'm pressing 1. English. E-N-G-L-I. English.
May we give your coordinates to our appraiser drone to perform the appraisal?
Absolutely.
We have received the photos, assessed the damage, authorized the repair, selected a qualified repair facility, and have dispatched a tow truck to take your vehicle to that facility.
Perfect.
Yes, hi, this is... Yes, I'll hold.
We have looked up the other vehicle's insurance, transmitted the appropriate data to create the claim, and filed the California SR1 accident report. Can you confirm the information is correct on your phone, then hit the accept button?
I'll check it right now. Okay, all done.
Thank you. Your Uber car is arriving now.
I see it coming.
Accident, not payment. Accident.
Your tow truck should be there now. Don't forget to leave your keys in the vehicle. Thank you for using Insure Corp, powered by Pivotal Labs.
Okay, so which customer would you rather be? You want to be the guy that was able to leave the scene of the accident inside of 10 minutes, knowing that your claim was totally taken care of, that your car was going to be totally taken care of? Or do you want to be the guy that's profusely yelling, English, 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 into his phone and pressing 1?
And he's probably still on the phone.
Yeah, they put him on hold, didn't they? Then they were talking about payment instead of accident. So
I imagine it isn't a cheap service.
you absolutely don't know. So you had a Insure Corp, I think is what they were calling themselves. Brought a drone to assess the damage to his vehicle, called a tow truck and a Uber car. So, just imagine from a business analysis standpoint now, what kind of things you may be involved in that. Did they own a fleet of drones, or they contract that out to another company? And maybe across the country, it's different things at different places. Some places they may have a drone fleet, some places more rural than that, they may farm that out to another company. The tow truck, does this insurance company now own tow trucks? So it's very possible. And we see that kind of things happening as part of a digital transformation. Companies are now, getting into areas that they had not before because it improves the customer experience. So that gains customer satisfaction, and that certainly brings sustainability to the company.
Yeah, I think one of the current illustrations of that is Amazon. That's now starting to hire individual drivers for same-day service for Prime customers, and they're starting to build their own airline fleet, whereas they used to just be an online bookseller.